We're with Mississippi College head coach John Bland as we look ahead to tonight's game against the University of West Georgia. Coach, thanks for joining us. Before we get to that game, let's talk about the Midwestern State game. Right. Choctaws lost the game 30-17, and your team was in it in the second half, but there were some mistakes and some penalties in the first half that really did cost your team some excellent field position and some really good scoring opportunities.
No doubt. We had a lot of things that went well, for sure. Our defense played really good, created turnovers, made big stops. Midwestern State's a good football team. They're big, they're talented, but we helped them out. There's no doubt about it. And I will say this, there's several things, like you were saying, mistakes were made. And a lot of those were being aggressive, which you don't want to discourage being aggressive, but there's a fine line in football when you go too far, and that happened to us. So we were trying to get those guys to be aggressive, to be do well on all those special teams especially. And it affected our field position for one. And then we turned the ball over a few times. The fumble we had, I got to use the instant replay. I did, and I also got to see that how this level, when we have only 3 cameras and they only had 2, it could affect us in a bad way too, because the camera did not pan over to where the actual ball was supposedly fumbled. I know they didn't throw a beanbag on it. So I was thinking, we might have saved that one. We'd have got points out of that drive, and that didn't happen. So it was part of the instant replay, though. Hopefully it would help us. It did not. But we did put the ball on the ground one way or the other, whether he was down and let go of it or not. We need to avoid that. That is, part of the reasons that they were able to come out with the victory. I think it was mainly us giving them the opportunities.
Well, I think for the second straight game, your defense played well. They just couldn't get off the field there in the second half, but they gave everything they had last Saturday night.
They did, and they had a good running game, and they were trying to, they got some longer drives there at the end. Even the ones that we got turnovers on, they had the long drives, but we were able to come up with those turnovers, which helped us give us a chance. They even scored on defense. We had a long run on offense. We had a drive where we got a field goal. Just needed a little more.
One of the young men who played well this past Saturday night on defense was Deshaun Washington. He looked to be really aggressive, and I think he's kind of poised for a big season because he made a big impact. He had 3 tackles for a loss and kind of set the tone early for the team. Yeah,
Deshaun is having his best year so far. I just want him to continue to grow, continue to get better and better. He's one of our best leaders as well. He's been here for a long time. This is his 3rd year, so we're excited that he's doing well. As we get into conference play, we hope we continue to do those good things.
One of your touchdowns came from Nick Grady on an interception return. He later got another interception, one that he was in the right place at the right time. But, you make your own luck sometimes, and I think he's one of those guys who's talented enough to do just that.
No doubt. He's talented, but also he has got a nose for the football. Like you said, being in the right place at the right time, that's usually what defense is supposed to do. You're supposed to be in the right place, and he is. And he's sometimes, as he does his job, also he sees the play developing, and he gets to the right place. And really has a knack for that, and that's why he's done that. He did that last year against West Georgia, too. Had 2 picks last year against West Georgia, so hopefully he can repeat that, maybe even get another one. But Nick is a really good player, got a lot of savvy, and a great young man, too.
One of the great individual efforts we saw was that 95-yard touchdown run by Ron Creighton. He broke a couple of tackles at midfield and shook a guy off late in the run. And, boy, that outstanding individual effort, you just got to love seeing that as a coach.
There's no doubt. As we're on our own 5-yard line, and he got out there with some great blocking. The first 50 was pretty free. And a great play design and also great blocking. Then the speed, he wasn't able just to outrun them, but I'm going to tell you, he made them miss back and forth. We had some blockers down there hustling too, and so they were trying to avoid the blockers and help Ron make that run, but when he got in the end zone, that was really good to see. A big run, a big long run, almost a record-setting run, I think.
That's right, second longest touchdown run in Choctaw's history.
Yeah, that's impressive.
You talk about trying to find some maybe more balance on offense. The passing game was able to get a couple of guys open and make some connections, and I saw some growth from week 1 to week 2.
There's no doubt, and I think we'll see some more this week. I looked at our stats sheets, and we had 6 passes in a row. That was like, wow, hang on a minute. And you know what? We had some that were incomplete, but you know what? You can get a big play out of it too. And you can get a big play in the running game, just like the 95-yard run. But there is a some improvement there, and we're seeing that. You know, passing, it takes a lot for both, run, pass, doesn't matter, but passing is a you know, the protection's got to be there. The routes have got to get open. We got to, you know, there's also defenders over there, and they're trying to work on that and our spacing. A lot of things is going to take that development, that game time experience, and I think we're starting to get that.
Well, turning to West Georgia tonight, the Choctaws beat them by 1 over there last year. It was maybe the turning point of the season a little bit. And tonight, you know, they'll come into Clinton, and if they were taken by surprise at all last year, you know that's not going to happen this year, because they know now exactly what this Choctaw football team can do.
Sure. You know what, and they may have been taken by surprise. I don't know, but they didn't seem to affect them on the field because they were doing really, really good. They were winning the game 21-3 at one point, almost 28-3. Nick Grady got a big interception, a huge one. We got down the field and scored, and then just made it a tough game. You know, when John Henry had to come in because Deontay got hurt and did a great job. And so the team was not necessarily inspired. I think we played good football, and I think that's what this conference is all about, you know, good competition, and we just happened to outlast them right there and went for 2. I think I was glad we did that.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it was a game we probably didn't want to go into overtime with them, but we could have won in overtime as well. But I might as well end it right then. The buses were fired up. Let's get home.
Well, you mentioned injuries. We know that Hayden Hill was out this past week, and maybe you can give us an update on him and anything else that is of concern for you early on.
Well, the same crew is in as we had last week. We might add a few more because we're at home. We can dress a few more people. Hayden's still hurt, though. He's, you know, that's about all I can say there, I think. But anyway, he is not going to be able to play. That was a big loss. Hayden's a heck of a football player. I'm going to tell you, he is really, really good and a good leader as well. Makes a lot of plays. All these guys, though, are just getting better and better as time goes on every week. So we're excited about that. Maybe see some new faces this week with additional guys that dress. Not all those will play, but a few might, and so that'll be good to see.
Coach, again, we appreciate your time. We wish you good luck in the game.
Thank you.
John Bland with us before this evening's game with the University of West Georgia Wolves.